Hey Mustangs, wanted to walk through a little bit of a refresher on longitude and latitude. A number of people had some trouble with this, and so we'll just uh, we'll just do a little mini lesson here. Hang with me, and I'm attaching this to those of you who tried it already, just to give you a refresher and see how well you did. All right, first of all, we have question number one, which is right here, and we want to know 4 degrees north and 100 degrees east. And there's a hint here that it's a body of water. So, um, well, where do we get started? Somebody had contacted me and was like, "Oh, there's no numbers," and you see there are numbers, but the numbers don't really match up with what you're looking for exactly. So you have to do some detective work. What numbers do we have? We do have 80 down here, 100 and 120. Notice the direction, the numbers are getting larger this way. So if we do our never eat soggy waffles, never eat soggy waffles, we know that it's pointing east. So this is our east longitude, 80, 100, 120. If we want to go north and south, then the first number here we're looking for is north latitude, north of what? Well, Mr. Dunn, I know that that's north of the equator. Okay, the equator here is 0. And if I'm going to go north, I need to go this way. So my first number I'm looking for is 4 degrees north, 4 degrees this way, north of the equator. Well, there is no 4 degrees. Okay, so what do? I'm going to look for numbers. And if I'm looking for latitude, I'm looking for the sides here. Here's my 0 on this side, but 0 here on this side. The only other number I have is a 20. That's all I've got to work with. So let's just do basic math. If I'm starting here at 0 and this is 20, 10 is somewhere halfway between. Right? Number 10 there. Well, Mr. I'm looking for 4. Okay, well, let me go half of that. Half of that is 5. So my 4 is going to be somewhere about down here. Doesn't have to be exactly precise. So I'm going to draw a line this way. Now, how's my line going to match up? Well, I'm looking for 100 degrees east. And we're lucky there because we actually have that exact number right here. So if I go 100 degrees east and I just draw this line straight up, I'm going to stop about here, about 4. X marks the spot. What is this? Well, it's right in the middle of a body of water. Now here's where this question was a little tricky because I was testing you on something we just learned. Now, a lot of you said Andaman Sea, and some of you said Gulf of Thailand. Some of you said Indian Ocean. Well, it's part of the Indian Ocean, part of the Andaman Sea. Okay, those are all okay. It's not bad. That tells me you're definitely in the general direction you should be. But specifically, we learned the other day that this body of water, which passes between these two areas of land, any body of water that passes between two arrows of land, two pieces of land, a very narrow body of water, is a strait. What strait did you learn about? You learned about the Strait of Malacca. The Strait of Malacca. Okay. So that would have been the absolute correct answer. However, we're in distance learning. We're getting, it's like hand grenades and horseshoes. Close enough. So if you were on Andaman Sea or Indian Ocean or Gulf of Thailand, I gave you credit. Well, I actually gave you credit for trying, but I recognize that you pretty much understand what I'm asking. If you were, off with some city in China, then you were off. You probably need to pay attention a little bit and focus especially on this little tutorial. Sorry, it's taking me forever to erase. Okay, we're going to go do the second one. And as we go up and look at the second one, we're looking now for 6 degrees south and 106 degrees east, and it's a city. This city. I wanted the name of the country of this city. Name and country. So the name of the city and the country. All right, so 6 degrees south. Well, we learned again, we remember that this is 0. Never eat soggy waffles, so we're going to be going south. Okay, this is south. So it's got to be somewhere below this line. All right. Now, what other information do we have? Well, 106 degrees east. Remember, we've got the 100 here. And so this is 100, this is 80. So it's not between 100 and 80. It's between 100 and 120. Halfway of that would be 110. And starting to run out of ink here. Half of that would be 105. And I'm looking for 106. So it's going to be somewhere just around here. If I were to draw this line straight up. Okay, now 6 degrees south. Well, we have to do a lot more guesswork on this one because we don't have any numbers south of here. So let's just figure out what we did before. We did, this was 100, or this was 0 and 20. We figured halfway was 10, half of that was 5. And in the first one, we were looking for 4. So if 5 is here, I'm going to say that 6 is roughly a similar distance, a little bit longer, going south. So if I'm going to swing my line around, and I'm going to bring my 106 up, I just crossed Jakarta, Indonesia. Some of you said Palembang. That's okay. That's pretty close. Bandung is pretty close. So if you were in that general vicinity, then I knew you knew what you were doing. It's hard to be precise on maps like this. Okay. So please don't get frustrated when you get to something like this. Consider yourself a little detective. Put your detective hat on, and get your magnifying glass out and start looking around and studying the things that you do know. Use what you do know to figure out what you don't. I hope this tutorial helps you, and you appreciate all that you're doing. I know you're struggling through a very difficult time along with me. I appreciate you being gracious towards me. When I make mistakes, I will definitely be gracious towards you when you make mistakes. Keep it up, Mustangs. You are doing wonderful. I look forward to seeing you again sometime in the future. Peace out.